Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Now, if you have watched one of my videos before, please consider subscribing so then you'll be notified on any new videos that I upload. But anyway, in today's video, I'm going to be going over Project Slayer's biggest problem. Now, Project Slayer does obviously have quite a few problems with their game, but there's always just been one big problem with it. That being replayability. Now, there are kind of two sections to why I think replayability is probably like the biggest problem in Project Slayers. Starting off with the fact that, well, yes, you can go back, kill some bosses to get better loot, obviously some being tier 3 chests or some being tier 5 chests. Now, of course, if you want better loot, you're gonna have to grind the tier 3 and especially the tier 5 chests for quite a while, depending on your luck. Oh, yes, it does take a few hours to get all of the good loot in the game, so technically this could be classed as pretty good replayability, seeing the fact that the tier 5 bosses only spawn every 15 minutes. But the thing is, once people have just gotten all of the good loot, what else is there to do? Obviously, this is in terms of PvE, so like collecting stuff, grinding. Get onto combat in a little bit. But anyway, this would be no problem if Project Slayer is just updated, because just like the update 1.5, after people just kind of grinded all of the loot, got all of the new stuff in the game, we obviously saw the player count just go down from like 50,000 people to about 10,000 people. This just shows that the PvE side, as in the grinding and just pure content to do after an update, isn't that much. So yes, while I guess there is some kind of replayability in there, it does kind of start to get boring after a while. I mean, come on, basically grinding the same bosses 24/7, and that's literally pretty much the only content you can do. Now, this would be no problem if Project Slayer is just updated regularly. Sadly, it does not. But now that's great and all. Yeah, so we've seen the PvE side and the entire grinding kind of replayability. But what about PvP? Now, I won't be going into too much detail about PvP in this video, as I'll have a separate video on that. But for the most part, Project Slayer's PvP is alright. I wouldn't call it the best, as it's just kind of M1 stunning and then, you know, doing the most overpowered combo. Now, for some people, you know, they enjoy that kind of gameplay. It's easy, it's fun. But for the majority of people who don't like that kind of PvP, after a while it does kind of get boring. And we see that for most PvP YouTube channels. We just see that after a while they start to just die down because, well, it just kind of gets repetitive, just like grinding all of the bosses over and over again. And as we see, just like the YouTube content creators, ones who do like PvE kind of ones, like grinding loot from tier 5 bosses, it just gets hella repetitive, and after a while they just kind of start running out of ideas and content to do. There's kind of like one big theme going on here, and that's just the fact that replayability is like alright, but only for a short period of time. So if they just updated a little bit more regularly, I'm sure this problem would have been fixed. Now, obviously, it just kind of depends on your point of view. You might have a completely different thought than me, but this is just my opinion on what I think is like the biggest problem for Project Slayer, like a huge problem, and which is kind of the reason why we see Project Slayer's player count slowly just starting to decrease over time. But anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, whether you think that this is a problem or if you think that this is just alright and that there may be another bigger problem, or maybe you just think that there's no problem with Project Slayer at all and you just like enjoying the game. But anyway, I really hope you have a wonderful rest of your day/evening. Goodbye.